Hello there, fellow NPCs. I'm Carbon Scythe, and today we're getting back into the house in Fata Morgana. We are still at door 5, and we are learning the truth about the white-haired girl, Michael, and the maid, Giselle. Yeah. And we are right now in Michael's point of view, and he is known for some time that Giselle is lying to him about why she's there, or rather that she's not telling him everything there is. She's withholding information, and he's been spying on her, walked in on her, talking to herself, and learned a few things. And now he has something else to do. He has better things to do, so he walked away. Well, let's see exactly what Giselle has to hide. Let's go. The bitter cold outside air felt like dozens of needles flowing into my lungs. It had been so long since I had stepped beyond the mansion's walls. A thick mist canopied the night sky, blocking out the moonlight. Naturally, the heavens did not rejoice at my leaving the house. It had been 10 years since I had seen the mansion from the outside, and it hadn't changed one bit. A gloomy scar upon the earth, shrouded in darkness. Hardly the kind of place someone would enthusiastically approach. Nevertheless, it was better than that house. Where he used to live with his family. You probably shunned him for being albino. Yes? Who is it? Michael. What? Michael Bollinger? Yeah, just one moment. I'll be right there. Come in. It's a humble abode, but make yourself at home. So is he the lord of the land or something like that? Oh, that's interesting. That kind of looks like one of that famous painting sort of thing, but I think it's only on one of the dishes though. Let's see if I can find it. Wow, I must say this is rather unexpected. Just one word and I wouldn't have been up there. Just one word and I would have been up there in a heartbeat. And how was I supposed to do that? I am regrettably fresh out of carrier pigeons. Oh, right. Yes. My apologies. This man, living in a small cottage not far from the mansion, had been hired by the Bollinger family. His job, to watch over me. That said, we never actually interacted. He was tasked with keeping track of whether I was still alive, and whether I remained in the mansion. The monthly packet from my family was delivered to him, which he then passed on to me. It was insipidly convoluted, but it was indicative of how much they wanted to avoid anyone learning about me. Well then, what can I do for you? The manservant was visibly rattled. Afraid too. But not because of the difference in our social ranks. I had a pretty good idea what he had been told about me. He was afraid of me. Or more specifically, my curse. People fear that which they cannot comprehend. Not just children, adults as well. They fear demons, witches and curses, anything impure and not of this world. But I had long since gotten used to being viewed as such. It didn't sadden me, it didn't disappoint me, it didn't pain me. Some things were too foolish to concern yourself over. Though it certainly doesn't make me feel good either. I was, on some level, annoyed. The woman's appearance at the mansion had created ripples in my once tranquil life. So before I got into the real reason for my visit, I decided to take out a bit of my frustration. Raise your head, there's no need to be afraid. I don't know what you've been told, but I promise I don't bite. How rude of me. You're right, my sincerest apologies. Your job is to keep watch over me. If the mere sight of me has you trembling, what will you do if I try to run? I would have little trouble escaping. That would be quite unfortunate. What would I ever tell your mother? I'm not sure that would end well at all. You could lose everything you've been paid so far. In fact, you might be lucky to get out with your life. Surely your mother would not. You are aware of who you're dealing with, right? Michael, the cursed youngest son of the Bollinger family, who made a pact with the devil. Oh, did Michael or the Bollinger family made a pact? I don't need a blade to take your life. You wouldn't even make it back to report anything. Have mercy, Lord Michael. Please do not leave the mansion. Please spare me. Only joking. What? I don't have the power to kill by way of curse. The man fell silent, but the look on his face said, You are cursed though, aren't you? Once someone got an idea planted in their head, it's nigh impossible to get rid of it. I am so cursed that anyone can see it, that I need to be locked away in a dark mansion. I am here because I had a question for you, not to warn you that I plan to run away. A question? For me? Yes. Approximately 3 weeks ago, a black-haired woman came to the mansion. Tell me what you know about her. I was told there would be an Abigail coming, but that's all. I don't know anything else about her. I swear that that's all I know. I haven't been told anything else. I believe you. I never thought they would tell you anything. Right. He had been hired to observe me, but that's all it was. A hired hand. He wouldn't be privy to the Bollinger family's internal affairs. Take this. A letter. I need you to deliver it to my mother. You could have just left it in the box from this month's package and I would have collected it when I dropped off the next one. I am in urgent need of information. Will you do this for me? Yes. Why, yes, absolutely. I'll fetch a delivery boy tomorrow morning. Much appreciated. Good night. You too. Do take care. Okay. Lord Michael? Yes? Is it true that you don't have... Would you like me to sew your mouth shut so you can never open it again? No, not at all. No. My sincerest apologies, Lord Michael. That was horribly disrespectful. Good night. Curse I most certainly am. So he doesn't have what? A heart? A soul? My mother's response arrived just 10 days later. The delivery boy must have pushed his horse quite hard. It was almost exactly a month after Giselle had moved in. So what does the letter say? Shortly thereafter, on a bone-chilling night, everything came crashing down. The rift between us grew deeper, and the wall between us impossibly high. When I lay bare, the scars in her chest, and mercilessly plunged my knife into them. Okay. So what is going to happen to her in these past 10 days? How did we get to this point? I hated everything. My spirits were getting darker and darker, like they were slowly sinking into a deep morass. And I had been at the mansion for a month, and every day since felt twice as long as it should have. I had been optimistic at first. I'd even had a little hope that me and Michael could get along together. But I hadn't taken long for that hope to be shattered, and the sheer locked away inside me. We lived in the same house, but we never spoke anymore. On a few occasions we did cross paths. He just gave me a cold glare and nothing more. Scorn and suspicion in his eyes. Whenever he looked at me like that, I felt as though my throat was being constricted, like I was deep underwater and running out of air. Like my very presence in the world was a crime. I never could have imagined just how agonizing constant reaction was. I started despising others. Oh. Despising myself. Despising the world. Convinced there was no one who could set me free. I considered running away from everything, rather than live like this another day. But I would have done so long ago if that were actually an option. If they found out that I had fled, that I had acted outside their wishes, my mom and sister would pay. I had succeeded in allowing my sister to get married and my mom to live comfortably. I had given them happiness. I couldn't take that away from them again. Not after what I had to go through to do it. No, cut that out. Getting way too depressing, Giselle. Pull yourself together, that's not who you are. Be positive. The negativity didn't only come from my interactions with Michael either. No, there seemed to be some kind of terrible presence within the mansion that twisted people's hearts. The mansion was, in fact, a bit of a local legend, which I had been informed about before being sent here. People claimed it was cursed, and that an evil witch had lived in it for many, many years. Michael joked that he was the witch, but I didn't believe him. I'm not usually one to believe in magic or curses at all, but being here so long, I can't help but wonder. Anyway, things can't go on like this. If I was to remain in this house, the situation needed to improve a lot. I was going to lose my mind if things kept up as they were. I was ready to give up once, but I'm going to try closing the distance between us again. If I could get him to open up even the tiniest bit, then maybe that would make living here a little easier. I wasn't going to try to make us best friends or anything. Just repair our relationship enough that being around each other wasn't torturous. I got my work cut out for me. How do I even begin that conversation? Heck, what is the conversation even going to be about? Maybe I should hold off, do it another day. No, I made up my mind to do this, so I should get to it quickly. The longer I wait, the worse things are going to get. And eventually, there won't be any fixing anything. We need to talk. We need to be in the same room for more than 10 seconds, and we need to get to know each other. He needs to know that he is not the reason I have something to hide. Okay, let's do this. I made my way to Michael's chambers, which he had told me to stay away from. My stride was slow and ponderous, but at the very least, I did my best to keep some semblance of a smile on my face. This is one time where I'd really like to have someone to give me a little nudge. Breathe in, breathe out. Okay. Pardon, Master. There's something I'd like to talk to you about. Master? I guess he's not here. The door wasn't locked. As was the rest of the house, his room shrouded in darkness. The only light came from the candle in my hand. Master? Are you there, Master? Yeah, so this is his bedroom. What are we gonna see? I guess I missed him. It's probably best if I don't stick around for long. He's already got a less than stellar impression of me. I don't want to imagine what'll happen if he thinks I've been snooping through his room. Yeah, I should get out of here. I spun around on my heels, taking a step back towards the door, when I caught sight of an object draped in black sheet. I knew I had to get out of there as quickly as possible, but I was intrigued by that object. Something he kept hidden in a room I was forbidden to enter. Maybe it was a clue to discovering Michael's secrets. I reached my hand down toward this object, knowing good and well I shouldn't. Was it because I wanted to learn more about him? Was it because I wanted to tear down the veil he hid behind? Or was it the whispers of the witch? What did you find? Scary music. Oh, the painting of a girl. Right, of her, whoever that is. What do we have here? I pulled off the sheet, revealing a framed painting of what appeared to be a noblewoman with porcelain white skin. What stood out about her, though, was that the woman's hair was as pale as her skin. And then... What? I noticed something else. Wide gashes ravaged the canvas, damaging her face beyond repair. What the... I imagined it had been a painting of a beautiful woman, but there was hardly a trace of that left. The only feeling it inspired anymore was a deep chill. The damage was not accidental, it was deliberate, angry, and the contempt emanating from within the frame was stifling. Thick, suffocating blackness seeped into me. Why would anyone... She was surely a most beautiful woman. Angelic even. A storm of questions assaulted me. Who was she? Why had her face been carved up? Why had the painting been covered? What had happened? Who could have... There's only one person who could have done this. Michael. Why on earth... You saw it, didn't you? You saw the painting, didn't you? Ah. You entered my room without permission, and you saw the painting, didn't you? Yeah. Angelic, you say? There's nothing angelic about that damned woman. I scrambled to make some excuse, but nothing would come out of my mouth. All I could do was tremble. Ho 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 fularo! Why did you enter my chambers? Mike. What were you looking for? Answer me. My mouth wouldn't move properly. I couldn't make my voice come out. It was like I wasn't even in my own body anymore. The wisps of air that were drawn into my lungs were expelled as hoarse gasps. My breaths were shallow and rapid. I was inhaling, but I wasn't getting any air. I was terrified. Terrified. Of his eyes, of his voice, of his feelings, of the knife he was holding up to me. Of the terrible past I was chained to. A man's voice, a man's very flesh, terrified me. What were you trying to find, and what were you planning to do with it? Answer me! Another thing you refuse to tell me then. No, I'm trying. Nothing's coming out of my mouth though. Everything's so bright, and I can't catch my breath. I can't breathe. That's fine though. You don't have to tell me. I have a pretty good idea. An idea? What do you mean? Money's what brought you to the Bollinger estate, and it's what brought you to me too. There are countless people who would have loved to see that house fall, and our noble family fears nothing more than disrepute. You were, I presume, approached by someone scheming the Bollinger's downfall. No. And as it just so happens, the Bollingers have a very unfortunate secret, one they are quite desperate to keep under wraps. Me. Someone suspected I might still be alive, so they sent you to dig up information about me. My very existence threatened to tear down that house. The cursed youngest son of the Bollinger family. Michael, who made a pact with the devil. Who is supposed to be dead, but is very much alive. You sweet-talked your way into the house, and into information about me and my present situation. And you meant to trade that information for money. I bet whoever it was put quite a handsome price on it too. Or maybe the one plotting to ruin the Bollinger family is you. No. No, that's not true. Then enlighten me. Please, hear me out. I didn't know anything about you. I wasn't sniffing around, or trying to bring you harm in any way. Then tell me, if that's not the reason you wormed your way into the Bollinger estate, and that's not what you're doing here, then tell me what is. Tell me why you came to this mansion. You want me to tell you about that? No way, that's asking way too much. Tell me. I swear I haven't done anything to wrong you. I simply wanted to make our life together a little more comfortable. To bring some warmth to this frigid relationship we have. That's the only reason I wanted to find out more about you. I must assume I'm right then, Giselle. I must tell him he's wrong. I must tell him I mean him no harm. But I can't say anything. A merchant's daughter became an Abigail at a noble's house. Could you come up with a more obvious lie? Your father's the one who... Wait, how does he know that I'm from a merchant's family? You look perplexed. I may be imprisoned in this house, not free to move about as I please. But I have my ways. I know everything. Everything? Then he knows about that too. Oh yes, I do know. Please, don't. In your quest for money. Don't say it. You slept with my father. Damn. Yeah, not surprising. In that moment, Michael plunged his knife into my heart. Whoa! So, okay. Oh. This is right after he received the letter. It's not in the 10 days between. Okay. He carved through my chest with those words, causing me to completely lose control of myself. In a panicked frenzy, and probably screaming all the way, I knocked the man aside and ran and ran and ran. I could hear a clap of thunder in the distance. Oh, how I wished a bolt of lightning would come crashing down upon me. Maybe if God burned my tainted flesh with a divine thunderbolt, it would get rid of some of the filth. But the jagged streaks of light cascading across the dark clouds did not strike me, only creating restless grumbles in the sky. Why? I knew that if I fled the mansion, I would likely be causing trouble for my mom and sister. But I was helpless to stop myself. All I could do was run from all that threatened me with no regard for the consequences. Before long, small droplets of rain began falling, which soon grew heavy enough to penetrate the forest canopy and reach the ground where I stood. The downpour drowned out my tears and my cries. Because I had rushed from the mansion without even putting on a cloak, each cold winter droplet stung bitterly against my flesh. But the bite of the rain was like a warm embrace compared to what I'd been through before. Michael had spoken the truth. As much as I wanted to deny it, to avert my eyes, reality was forever engraved in this body. No. I don't want to think about it. But I had no say in the matter. Get out of my head! So he didn't stab her, he stabbed her with his words. Antonin? Oh, Michael's father. Come over here, Giselle. Oh, okay. May I ask why you asked me here so late at night, master? Oh, I just wanted to have a little chat. Care for some wine? Come closer, and I'll pour you a glass. I had this wine imported from up north. They use a very hard water, and like it rather tart, so it leaves quite a lasting impression on your tongue. And yet it does go down so easily. You just can't seem to stop. What do you say? Have a sip. Or does your expertise as a trader allow you to evaluate a wine's quality without tasting it? No, but please yourself. Don't trample all over my good graces. Very well then. I will have a sip, master, but no more. Have you ever considered growing out your hair? Having long hair made it difficult to do my job. You're not a merchant anymore, though. You deserve to look like the woman you truly are. I have no doubt longer hair would accentuate your natural beauty. It's a gorgeous shade of black, so deep a man could get lost in it for years. It would contrast the color of your skin fabulously. Highlight your eyes, your cheekbones, your nape, your shoulders and your chest. I should get going. Oh, but we're not done talking yet. I would not want a lack of sleep interfere with my ability to work tomorrow. Thank you very much for the wine, it was delicious. No need to be so cold-hearted now. From the moment I first laid eyes on you... Master! That's enough fooling around for one night. Now, don't be afraid. I wouldn't do anything to hurt you. I simply want to express my love. Let go of me. I only came here to work, nothing more. The first time I saw you, I thought it would be a tragic waste to leave you to wither away working at some little street-side shop. Stop! You can't tell me you didn't know a merchant girl had no place in a house like this, even as a servant. There's only one reason you would be allowed here. No, I swear. It never even crossed my mind. It would seem you're even more innocent than you look. But you've figured it all out by now, haven't you? No! Let go of me! Stop this! Keep your voice down. Do not shout yourself. If anyone were to find out about this, you would be the one shouldering the consequences, not me. What? You're a maid, and I'm the master of the house. Whose word do you think holds more weight? Don't worry, I won't do anything to hurt you. I promise your family will be exceptionally well taken care of. Your mother will have the comfortable life you wanted for her. But you know what will happen if you raise a fuss and make a fool of yourself. Not only will your family not get any of our money, and not only will your sister not get to marry, you'll all spend the rest of your lives on the streets. Could you be so cruel? This is blackmail. This is standard procedure back in the olden days. Yes, it's kind of interesting actually that it's completely flipped now. That if you are a person in power, then the evidence weighs against you. Unlike here, when the person in power is the one with the power still. Blackmail. For a merchant's daughter, you don't know much about trade, do you? Then let me give you a little lesson about market value. The goods you're after, Giselle, are not cheap. Understand? Now, let me see that beautiful body of yours. He was an older man, so I hadn't expected him to be very strong. But I couldn't break free of his grip, and I found myself entirely at his mercy. Beneath the gaudy outfits lay a hungry beast, and I was seeing the creature's true colors for the first time that day. The aging man ran his disgusting, slobbering tongue across my exposed skin. Everything he placed his hands upon withered away. Every piece of flesh he pressed his lips against putrefied. Rotted. Decayed. Rankled. I trembled in revulsion, at which the man laughed, seemingly interpreting it as something else. I wonder what kind of place hell was. If hell's warden only flayed and carved their prisoners, I would have preferred that instead. I would have rather been sliced into tiny little chunks and cast into the hellfire. I would have chosen eternal torment over being touched by this man another second. But I didn't get to choose my hell. Eventually, the man forced open the gates I had been holding fast, and spread his festering death inside me. Whoopsie, I did not... I mean, I knew it was going to be a dark story, but I did not expect them to actually go all this far. Listen to me, Giselle. It is in both our best interest to keep this between the two of us. If you can do that, I'll continue to do good by you. And your family. Oh, don't look at me like that, please. I'm thrilled to have you here in this house, Giselle. She has long since lost her mind, after all. What? Who the fuck is she? Is that... No, Mother is still alive. It's torture just being in the same room. And my sons, they hardly ever come home. But you, Giselle, you give color to my dull life. You make it exciting once again. Now, go on back to your room. I'll be waiting here at the same time next week. Yeah. Fucking disgusting. I couldn't escape from that man's grasp. Not when he used my family against me. Some weeks, I would just not go to his chambers. My only feeble means of resistance. But when I did that, he would send another Abigail to come find me the next day. I couldn't ignore his summons when he got other people involved. And then, when the two of us were alone, the mask would come off. And he would discipline me for not showing up before taking care of his usual business. On good days, he would leave bruises in inconspicuous places, my abdomen, my inner thighs. But he went as far as carving a word into my skin with a knife. Harlot. That was why I was afraid of knives. That was why I was afraid of men shouting. I wasn't even sure what to regret anymore. I was in far too deep. There was no turning back the clock. I even considered taking my own life on more than one occasion. But every time the thought crossed my mind, happy memories came with it. Back when it was just the three of us girls in the shop. Life may not have been easy, but it was never dull either. I didn't want to end my life in its absolute lowest point. I wanted, if just temporarily, to go back to the way things were back then. That objective was the only thing that allowed me to keep going. When I was in his presence, I tried to convince myself I was merely an object. I had no emotions, so he couldn't hurt me. I was merely a vessel, a construct of flesh and bones. His hands couldn't reach my heart, for it was not connected to my body. Doing that made it a little easier to bear. But the reality was, it was impossible to completely sever my heart from my body. You're Giselle, aren't you? One day, the mistress of the estate stopped me in the halls. She had supposedly once been quite beautiful, but now she was only haggard and bony. Her skin dry, her eyes sunken, her hair faded and stripped of its luster, her head down, her cracked lips barely moving as she spoke. Age didn't appear to be the only thing working its merciless magic on her either. There seemed to be something eating away at her from inside too. Something that could burst at the slightest touch. So her mind is gone. Okay. Yes, I am Giselle. Is there something I can do for you? The mistress rarely ever left her chambers. I had been told it had been years since she attended family supper. So what would bring her to come looking for someone like me? And you. What? I wasn't sure I wanted to know the answer. You're having relations with my husband, aren't you? You are, aren't you? Madam? You wretched creature! She was telling me the truth. One of my trusted maids caught a glimpse of you through a crack in the door. She saw you with him, you filthy rat! You seduced my husband! And you devil, you conniving witch! You don't get it, do you? You don't realize how grievous your sin is, do you? Someone, anyone, restrain this girl! She's a demon, a devil! Tie her up and hand her over to the clergy! Oh. No, that won't be enough. A witch! You have to burn her bones, scatter the ashes, so she'll just come back to life. Yes, yes! Execute her! Kill this woman! Burn the witch! Seize the piece she's stolen from me! Cursed. It's cursed. This house is cursed. Not only has it taken away my daughter, now it's trying to take away my husband. Oh God, please shine thy cleansing light upon this house. I knew it would be a waste of breath trying to talk to her. She was not of sound mind. There was madness in her eyes. I didn't even have to make a fuss about it. It happened all on its own. If there was no way around it, then I should have just done it myself after the first time. I didn't even have the energy to argue with her, or to cry, or to shout. Before long, a crowd began to form around me and the sobbing mistress, and in it stood him. I assumed he would just stand back and watch. But much to my surprise, he stepped in, with an embarrassed look on his face, to try to settle his wife down and convince her not to have me executed. Maybe he did have a heart after all. Or maybe he just wanted to save face. Regardless, instead of being burned at the stake, it was decided that I would be sent away to some remote forest. One of the previous Bollinger family heads had purchased a mansion there long ago, but it had been abandoned because of the stories people told about it. They said a cursed witch dwelled in the house. She had returned to life after being executed, and now skulked about in the darkness. It was the perfect place to banish a sinner. And so, accused of adultery, I was in a carriage on my way out of the capital the next day. I hope my mom and sister are alright. The two of them will believe in me, even if no one else does. The wooden wheels turned, carrying me away to that cursed mansion. Just the silent coachman and his single solid passenger. Looking out through the window, I could see the city walls slowly fading into the distance behind us. I doubted I would ever set foot in this land again, ever cross the Grand Pont again. It was a saddening reality, but at the same time, I felt a surge of relief. I had finally escaped from that house. I had finally escaped from that man. This sense of freedom slightly lessened the weight of everything else I was feeling. A good while after we left the capital, the coachman handed me a letter. On the sheet of parchment was a rather startling revelation. It was someone else already living at the house where I was to reside. The Bollinger's youngest child. But the letter didn't say why he had been sent to the cursed mansion, only that he was there. Beyond that, the letter only made a single request, that I look after him and not ask any questions. So I'm just not being sent off to the middle of nowhere. I still have work to do. If I look after whoever's at the mansion, then they'll do the same for my family. I don't have much say in the matter either way, I suppose. The carriage rattled and shook as it traversed the stony path and bouncing around inside it. I resolved to take my life. The peace I had once known. The cheerfulness I had lost. And to do so, I would forget. Lock away my memories. Bury every terrible thing that had happened to me. Cast aside those memories and find my smile once more. I have no idea who I'm going to find there. But they couldn't possibly do anything worse to me. I'll greet them with a smile. And do my best to build up a decent relationship with them. I figured, since the both of us had been banished to the same cursed mansion, there would probably be other things we had in common. And so, I would forget it all. And get my life back. Get my smile back. Not quite, unfortunately. And that was everything that led up to me arriving at the mansion. All the wounds I never wanted to open again. I didn't want to think about that. I've been trying so hard to forget about it. I wanted to forget all about it. So why? Why did you have to make me remember? All I did was believe. Believe that we could make things work. Why? How could you? God, I can't take it anymore. Once the memories had broken free, they all flooded back with perfect clarity. Exactly how he ran his hands across me. Exactly where he hit me, where he cut me. Like I was going through it again, this very moment. The rain was cooling me down on this outside, but so much nauseating heat had built up in my gut. I vomited all over the ground. I threw up and threw up, I threw up and I threw up and I threw up until there was nothing left but bile. And when I had nothing left to expel, the strength evacuated from my knees, and I collapsed. I didn't know if everything was blurry because of the rain or because my eyes had decided they were done looking at anything. The whole world twisted before me. Michael's no different. My attempts to get close to him, to always keep a smile on, it was all a waste. The look in his eyes was terrifying. Like he didn't believe in anything at all. So he probably wouldn't have believed me if I had told him the truth. If he's convinced I have an ulterior motive, there's probably no changing his mind. Such a cold rain. If I lie down here and go to sleep, I wonder if all the warmth will eventually drain from my body. And then I'll decompose and become part of the earth. You know, that might actually be nice. I like that. I always thought I didn't want to die. That I wanted to go back to the way things were. But who cares anymore? I did my best after all, and that still got me nowhere. Cheerful Giselle was all just a farce. And when I'm dead, all my worry for my mom and sister will fade away with me. Oh God. I doubt you have a place for me on high. I am, after all, an unclean woman, and I'm giving up on living altogether. But even if I can't get into heaven, that's okay. I just want release. The rain pitter-pattered down through the leaves overhead, chilling my skin. The cold spread through my flesh and into my bones, my heart and lungs and stomach, freezing me like a block of ice. My consciousness drifted away from me, and the world slipped through my fingers. More than fear, I felt relief. Utter black. And that, I was sure, was the end of me. But we are far from done here. And that, I was sure, was the end of me. Oh, are we done with door 5 here? I don't know. I guess we just have to wait and see in the next video, because we are finished for today. That was interesting. Of course, she had to be sent there for some kind of punishment. Having slept with a master of a house is one thing. Having been taken by force and then blamed for it is a completely different matter altogether. That sucks. That's bad. That's awful. And yeah, that is it for today's video. So thank you guys for watching, and thank you Joseph for donating directly to my Ko-fi page. If you guys want to help me out, you can do so by clicking the link down in the description. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll be seeing you guys in the next one. Goodbye everyone.